Every hero starts with that itchy feeling that something's off. Maybe you felt different. Maybe your emotions didn't behave like everyone told you they should. Maybe you could feel things people swore weren't real. Maybe you thought too deeply, sensed too broadly, cared too hard. And maybe someone once told you that made you too much. What they didn't mention is every legendary hero is too much before they learn what enough feels like. Your weirdness wasn't the problem. It was the training ground. Like a young dragon, burning its own eyebrows off while learning to breathe fire. You were simply meeting skills you hadn't yet grown into. One night, maybe in a dream, maybe in a metaphor, maybe in a memory you haven't had yet, you find a weathered satchel hanging on the door of your consciousness. Inside, there's 3 keys. They look simple, but every ancient prophecy says these 3 reshape worlds. The first key, discernment. It feels like a compass, not pointing north, pointing inward. You notice when you hold it near something that nourishes you, the needle expands outward, warm and spacious. And when something's off, even if it looks shiny as hell, the needle tightens, clenches, curls in. Like the universe whispering, "Kid, that's a no." The second key, boundaries. It's a membrane, thin but powerful. Press it and it bends, flexing, like living, intelligent skin. This key says, a cell without a membrane dissolves. A person without a membrane becomes a puddle. It doesn't ask you to build walls. It asks you to define where you end and the other begins, so you can survive the journey. The third key, integrity. This one hums. You hold it, and your thoughts, words and actions pull toward alignment like iron filings toward a magnet. It's coherence. Laser versus light bulb energy. The light bulb shows the mess. The laser cuts through it. Heroes don't gain new powers first. They recognize the ones they've been accidentally using. You already practice discernment. You know when a food smells wrong. You know when someone's smile doesn't match their eyes. You know when your stomach says leave before your mind forms the sentence. That's discernment, primitive, biological, spiritual, all the same muscle. You already use boundaries. You close a door when you want privacy. You step back when someone stands too close. You mute someone online when their chaos clutters your mind. That's boundaries, functional, instinctual, necessary. You already sense integrity. You feel like shit when you betray yourself. You feel powerful when you keep your word. You feel peaceful when your decisions match your values. That's integrity, coherence, physics, not just ethics. Imagine a fatherly guide, ancient, impatient, loving as hell, leaning in. Look, kid, you don't need more love and light fluff. You need cause and effect. You need to understand what happens when you ignore your power. And he explains, if you ignore discernment, you let every stray thought take the driver's seat. You swallow energies that weren't meant for you. You confuse noise for truth and wonder why you're drained. If you ignore boundaries, you leak energy like a bucket full of holes. You say yes when your soul screams no. You become the emotional janitor of everyone's bullshit. If you ignore integrity, you split in half. Your mind wants one thing, your heart another. Your body pays the price every time. And he says with that cosmic parent tone, actions have consequences. Neglect the keys and life kicks your ass. Use them and you walk like you're carrying thunder in your spine. Every hero hits this part. The fear isn't of failing, it's of being seen, of being judged for saying no, of being misunderstood for choosing yourself, of being rude, selfish, or changed. But here's the truth whispered by every ancestor. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always call your boundaries a problem. People who feed on your confusion will always fear your discernment. People threatened by your clarity will always call your integrity too much. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal that you're finally touching the edges of your power. Imagine 3 moments. Moment 1. Someone hands you drama disguised as a gift. Your discernment key tightens. You notice it. You choose space. Suddenly, the future shifts. Moment 2. A person pushes past your comfort, like you owe them access. Your boundary key glows. You say no. Your energy stays yours. Your timeline upgrades. Moment 3. You're tempted to break your word to yourself again. Your integrity key vibrates. You keep the promise. You feel a strange rising power, self-trust. Every choice is a forked path. Each key opens a slightly different future. Little by little, your intuition sharpens, your energy stabilizes. Your decisions feel cleaner. Your confidence stops being performative and becomes lived. Your sensitivity turns from weakness into a super skill. Your weirdness becomes your compass. Your inner world stops being a battlefield and becomes a lab. Science would call it coherence, nervous system regulation, and predictive processing. Mystics call it awakening. Same thing, different vocabulary. The 3 keys start working together. Discernment tells you what's yours. Boundaries protect what's yours. Integrity expresses what's yours. They braid into one coherent force. A person who knows themselves, a person who chooses themselves, a person who lives themselves. People feel that. Some are magnetized to it, some run from it. Both reactions are clues. When you walk back into your life with the 3 keys, you stop leaking your power, you stop absorbing other people's chaos, you stop betraying your own inner signals. You stop confusing people's discomfort with your responsibility. You stop apologizing for existing as you are, and the world responds. You become the person whose presence quietly upgrades rooms, not by force, not by manipulation, but by the sheer gravitational pull of someone aligned. Like a star stabilizing its own orbit, so the planets around it stop wobbling. Your life becomes clearer, simpler, stronger, more honest, more yours. The prophecy, it wasn't about faith. It was about potential. The hero who carries discernment walks a clearer path. The hero who carries boundaries walks their own path. The hero who carries integrity walks a powerful path. Combine them, and you walk a path that didn't exist until you stepped onto it. The future isn't written. But the moment you pick up these keys, you damn well start writing it yourself.